The sports podcast from the fans for the fans. Make sure to email us any questions, comments, therecspecs@gmail.com. And as we transition from our sixth place team in the SEC West to our sixth place team in the SEC East, some new blood, as we were talking about earlier, with the Vanderbilt Commodores.
Yeah, and
welcome to the bottom feeders, Vandy.
Yeah, they've been well accustomed to that spot over the years, and with the rare exception of 2008 making it to the bowl and actually winning a bowl since
Boston College
against
right?
Boston College, since first bowl win since 1983 or bowl appearance or something. They got some glory that year at least, and they're going to be looking up once again at that sixth position. But they do bring, like we were talking about in the first of the show, they do bring that new coach, that new mantra, that new swagger, a lot of positive vibes coming from from the program. James Franklin is going to be heading this ship, and we'll see what he can do.
The actual stat is one bowl game in the last 28 years.
Wow.
Definitely tough to stomach, but
mean, you're a true fan. If you're a Vandy Commodore and you're like at every single game, is that not the definition of a true fan?
I would think so. I mean, They've had their bright spots over the past 10 years, I guess you would say.
Right.
Beating Tennessee at Tennessee, I believe it was 2005. Huge. Dang near beat Florida in the swamp when Jay Cutler was a senior quarterback for Vandy. So they've had some high moments, they've had some low moments. Let's see what our friend Mr. James Franklin from the Maryland Terrapins can do, and maybe who knows, he might be able to steal a win or two in 2011.
Yeah, I think he can definitely steal a couple wins, at least their openers against Elon. So if you lose to them, then I might have to ride you off as a for season. But they're bringing back Larry Smith. They're bringing back 11 starters.
That's what's crazy about the whole thing.
But
do you think that they were 1-7 in the SEC last year because they were so young?
I don't know. I mean, maybe they're just not good because they only averaged 16.9% or 16.9 points per game last year, which is 112th overall. So they bring all of them back, but like I read, it doesn't really mean a whole lot because they didn't really produce much last year.
So all the starters back on offense.
All the starters back on offense. Larry Smith was 47.5% completion percentage, which very below subpar, especially in college.
That's like me playing on all Madden level.
Yeah, just not getting it done. But he's kind of like the front runner, and he's going to have a star in the making, perhaps.
That's the interesting backup right there, is Aaron Rodgers' younger brother, Jordan Rodgers, as his potential backup, or maybe the guy that can even
take the job, right?
Absolutely.
And Franklin, the coach of the Commodores, states that he's got that quarterback vibe to him. So when your coach is saying that, maybe the signs are, okay, Larry Smith, you're going to have to show us something early, or Jordan Rodgers is going into the game.
And not just Jordan Rodgers, LaFonte Thorogood, he's their big name that they were able to get in the 2011 recruiting class, and a lot of people didn't think he was going to put that Vandy hat on.
Yeah, I mean, really, a lot of people didn't think that was even a possibility. He was set to go to Virginia Tech and then switched hats on the last day.
From Virginia Beach, we obviously know what kind of caliber athletes come out of the Virginia Beach area. He's going to be a speedster, I have a feeling.
Yeah, and I wonder if they're kind of disappointed because, Michael Vick came from there. The Tyrod Taylor came from there. All of them went to VT, and seemed like he was falling in that same line. But he's at least going to get a good education.
Absolutely.
Which that's what James Franklin was harping on. So,
well, when I look at Vanderbilt, you have so many opportunities there. If you're a 4-star athlete, you got to think that you'll be able to get in the field in some respect, whether it's the Wildcat formation, whether he's the starting quarterback for all 12 games of the season, whether he leads them to a bowl game or not, who knows. but you got to have a feeling that he's going to be able to get on the field at some point.
Yeah, and maybe he wants to be that big of a guy where he can actually lead the program, and maybe his senior season, he's almost fighting it out as the best quarterback in the league, and maybe they could be, have such good classes by then that they could be competing for, 6-win, 8-win, 9-win season.
That's definitely what James Franklin is hoping for, and we've seen him kind of put some borders around the state of Tennessee and keep some of those guys at home.
Yeah, he's looking good so far. He's already got a 4-star running back from Memphis that is committed. It's a verbal commit at this point, so it doesn't mean a whole lot. But if they hold their end of the bargain, Brian Kimbrough, I think from Memphis East, he's already said that he would like to go there. And they also got a big recruit out of Georgia, which is a tough place to land a big time recruit. Josh Dawson, defensive end from Tucker, Georgia. So it's looking very favorable as far as recruiting goes right now.
As we shift gears back to the Vandy offense, the rest of the offense, we kind of think that they're going to be thin on the offensive line, somewhere where you have to be good.
At least, like we said, they're bringing all 11 starters back. At least they have some continuity. Mm-hmm. They have some guys that were there last year. They know what to expect for this year. So as long as those guys don't get hurt, maybe they have improved in the offseason and they can, give Larry Smith a little bit more time and open a little bit more holes, bigger holes for Norman and Stacy to run through.
Those are going to be the two backs that are going to headline this Vandy squad. Possible star in the making, Wesley Tate, 235-pound physical back with good speed.
Yeah, he was a 100-meter champ in high school in the state of Tennessee, so that's got to speak for itself. He's got the speed and he can run in between the tackles. Seems like he can just bulldoze over people. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Vandy can do on the ground. Mm-hmm. That's for sure.
And they got Warren Norman, as I mentioned, coming back. In 2009, he was the SEC Freshman of the Year, missed most of the last season with injuries. Maybe he can get back to his 2009 form.
I would expect so. A lot of times they say, anytime. I think his was mostly with a wrist and maybe a leg injury. Mm-hmm. They say a lot of times, you come back even better because you've had that year to rest. And you've been just, working at it, trying to get better, working at it, and you're just off the charts as far as ready to go, I guess. The
wide receiving core lacks a little bit of star power, but Jordan Matthews at the end of 2010 showed some promise. 12 catches for 136 yards in his last 2 games. He only got 5 starts, or actually 5 games that he played in last year. 4 touchdowns coming in the last 4.
Yeah, that was pretty impressive, and that's really got to say a lot about their wide receivers. There's really nobody that jumps out at you. If only 4 TD receptions is leading your team, that's that you're not getting many TDs, which we know that for sure. But
on the upside, 4 TDs in 4 games, though.
Yeah,
even though he played in 5 games, they were all in the last 4.
He definitely shows some promise, mm-hmm. and I think that's going to be their go-to guy. I know they got a tight end that they're looking at as well. They're going to be looking at a lot on. But the offensive line is got to give them time to get to Matthews. It's got to give them time to get to his targets. So they have a lot to build on. They have a lot of continuity. But it's still the SEC. It's still the toughest conference in the NCAA. So.
And still anything can happen.
Anything can happen.
As we look at the defensive, their secondary, who knows? Maybe that can be the strong suit of the defense.
I think as long as their D-line, which is very injury-ridden at this point, can give them some pressure up front, then those guys are going to take chances and get some picks. What do they have to lose?